And we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the great ladies. Thank you for being here. Donna Davis, shout out to you. Shout out to Angel D. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special, big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers. Shout out to the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the crossing guards. Shout out to the school bus drivers and the school students off to school. Shout out to law enforcement personnel, medical field personnel. Shout out to whatever it is your job description is. Shout out to you. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. Don't make that go over your head in a man. Shout out to everybody who is a clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. You're a good person. Shout out to you. Here we are on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is March 19th, 2024, and we have one topic to discuss this morning. One topic. And the one topic is Vybz Kartel to get a retrial if everything is up to Paula Llewellyn, because she has just announced that she will be seeking a retrial for Vybz Kartel. A lot of people hit me up yesterday. SouFlo, come. What you have to say about this? I almost got jumpy and did a video yesterday pertaining to the topic, but something said wait till this morning and go over it live, and this is what I am doing. So shout out to the people who hit me up yesterday and said, come on, man, let me hear what you have to say. Here is what I have to say now. All right. We'll go off of facts only. And I want people to understand that this is no personal thing, right? A lot of people are still under the impression that we only want freedom for Vybz Kartel and Sean Storm, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John because we love cartel music. Not the case. I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't give a damn how good your music is. If a team of prosecutors can put together a case against you and it is filled with irrefutable evidence, that means I can't even argue with them evidence there. It is what it is. Okay, you just have to go do your time because you did the crime according to how they put it. But I followed this case year after year, tooth and nail, and I don't see where the prosecution proved their case in this case. And not only that, the case was botched in several ways. The same thing I've been saying for years. Guess what happened? We went all the way to the UK for the Privy Council to say exactly what SouFLoTV has been saying since 2014. They were locked up in 2011. They were tried and convicted in 2014. 2014 is when the verdict was handed down, guilty, and a life sentence imposed upon them. And they've been incarcerated serving that life sentence since 2014. And we've been saying the same thing since 2014. Never switched a story over the years. Just kept looking into the case more and more and more and kept saying the same thing over and over. Enough people tell us, say, cartel fanboy. Some people say you love cartel more than how you love your woman. I hope them go. I hope what all kinds of foolishness, right? And at the end of the day, look, the law lords at the Privy Council reiterated exactly what we've been saying since 2014. Come on now, that holds value. That holds value. That tells me not crazy. That tells me I was looking at it right. That tells me we were on the right track. Okay? Now, let's get into this. And I want people to understand this also. The reason why I go at this one so much, again, for the simple-minded who cannot have a conversation without calling somebody a name, you're a fanboy, big back boy, you love cartel more than your wife, because you have nothing sensible to say. Check it out, right? I am of the view that I don't want to live in a society where things are, somebody can accuse me and then somebody can frivolously put a case together and it flies every time. And then here I am doing a life sentence for something I didn't do, or a botched up trial that no, oh, okay, so what? We were supposed to do this in your trial and we didn't. The law says do this and we didn't. Okay, so what? Go in there, go and go serve your time. Me don't want to live in that the world there. And I don't want to live in a world either where, listen, if we look at this, right? I want you to think about this. Vybz Kartel has the resources to fight a case for 14 years or 13 years straight through every level of appeal all the way to the Privy Council and back. And right now, if them decide to retrial again, I think he still has the resources to fight this case all the way back to Privy Council again. How many of us have that kind of resources? How many of us, think about it, how many of us have that kind of resources? So if they can do that to him, imagine what them can do to the normal man, Miss Matty little son, whenever do it. Poor Miss Matty don't have them kind of money there. Any which part the verdict pop off, for our son just have to go hold that and cry behind bars, say, I never do it, you know, I don't me, oh God save me. Not many of us have those kind of resources, my friend, to hire multiple lawyers to fight year in, year out for how many years. So I look at this from a humanitarian perspective as well. Now, not to leave out a mother that obviously lost her son, because people keep saying, oh no, never talk about Lizard. Oh no, never talk. I talk about Lizard and I talk about the 14,000 plus I looked it up yesterday. It's not 13. It's 14,000 plus Jamaicans have been murdered since Vybz Kartel been incarcerated. And still, to this day, people are saying, keep him in there because at them turn up the murder rate in Jamaica. So while he was incarcerated, who was turning it up to where it got to 14,000 Jamaicans murdered in the time he was incarcerated? I want you to answer that for me. I see a woman yesterday post a comment that said, keep him in there because if he was out here, the murder rate would be way worse. If he was out here, you wouldn't know because he wasn't out here. You know what I'm saying? Like the argument, the angles the arguments come from, it makes no damn sense to me. Now, Paula Llewellyn, wait. Let me address Lizard's mother. And Lizard, we don't know where he is. That's from where I'm sitting, I can say we don't know where he is. From where law enforcement is sitting in Jamaica, they don't know where he is either. And them never prove that he is dead either, right? Right. With that said, circumstantial evidence has people believing that yes, Kartel is responsible for Lizard's murder. His mom is convinced that something going over there so with them people there, and so we have to take into consideration that a son is missing. A mother is convinced that them people that kill our son, and she wants justice for her son as well, right? We are arguing it from the point of what is played out in the courtroom legally, not what the streets are saying and what people are saying. So understand our angle as well. Yes? Right. Now, with that said, the DPP announced yesterday officially that she will be seeking a retrial. A lot of people are under the impression that this is something personal. Well, there's feelings on both sides of the fence. You have the people who want them to stay in there, who are saying, do it, DPP, do it. Don't be intimidated. Don't make nobody back you down. And then you have the people who are saying, well, damn, Paula, like is it personal now or what? So we're going to get into all that right now. See? All right. Audrey Wright says it looked like the DPP in our feelings because this seemed to be based on our personal feelings and not facts. And based on the evidence and the way this case was handled, it would have been thrown out anywhere else. Not only that, y'all are aware of something called double jeopardy in law. Yeah. Now, mind you, I can stand. My phone is here. The phone can ring at any time. I will stand corrected. I am not a trained attorney, but I know enough to know that trying somebody for the same crime twice is called double jeopardy, right? Right. So we have common knowledge of certain things that we can argue from that perspective. However, in Jamaica is a different kettle of fish. Somebody asked me yesterday about that, and I told them the person that asked said something about the US and said, SouFLo, if this was the US, the with the Supreme Court overturning his verdict and making him a innocent man again who is accused but not convicted, that would have been the end of it. The case would have been thrown out. And I said, yes, but that's the US. The UK has a different book of laws, and Jamaica functions more under the UK book of laws. For those of you who don't know this is why our highest court for Jamaica is located in London, England, in the UK. We're still under those law lords. Okay. Not only that, if you ever get in trouble, because somebody did say this as well before, yo, if me ever get in a trouble, me I save up my money because me I get one of the biggest lawyers from out of America. A lawyer from the United States of America could not represent you in the courts in Jamaica unless they are schooled under the laws that govern Jamaica. I looked this up and I found it out. So either them did go to law school at England and or in Jamaica or somewhere within uh the Caribbean or Commonwealth or something like that. But them would have to be under that jurisdiction, not US lawyers. And this is the reason why he couldn't say, give me the top lawyers from the United States of America. It just wouldn't work. Right? Now, with that said, this announcement comes following an article that was laid out yesterday where Paula Llewellyn seems to not insinuate, she was trying to clear her name first. And then she accused the other side of intimidation. So I know said this is taken personally, right? Because I haven't seen anything intimidating towards her or her office. Remember, I told y'all before, I said, Granny said, when you're handing a crocodile mouth, you take your time and take it out. Mr. Cargo repeat the same thing. When you're handing an alligator mouth or something, take your time, take it out. But I watched Cargo video for a minute, and Cargo video is basically saying like the fans must be nice and Cartel must be humble and nice right now. Let me tell you something. Humble and nice not gonna do it. Them people here don't care about now how humble and how nice you are now. You could have licked them shoes bottom and begged them like your life depended on it. That is not what's going to save you. And the principle is being set. If this is what I have to do in order to get a fair trial or to get let go, then we're not dealing with law anymore. We're definitely dealing with your personal feelings, right? Right. So none of that humble, nothing. And I saw a lot of people agreeing with him, but every time somebody who is famous or semi-famous says something, a bag of people run back at it like say it's gospel kind of thing. I beg you to uh research everything I ever say to you before you co-sign it, cause I do it myself. I hold myself accountable and to a higher court, right? Now, Paula Llewellyn says Jamaica's chief prosecutor, Paula Llewellyn, King's Counsel, has moved to clarify her actions before the decision. I've told people, regardless, I don't have nothing bad to say about her right now pertaining to this. And the reason why I don't is because I'm waiting for justice to take its course, whichever way that course they go. Nothing moves without orders and paperwork. So just like how they went to the Privy Council and it took a while to get there, it is the same way that paperwork must march its way back to the Court of Appeals in Jamaica, and then Paula Llewellyn, Vybz Kartel's attorneys, Sean Storm's attorneys, etc., then they can swing into action and move forward from there. But until then, because I'm clarifying for people, because some people are saying, okay, so the Privy Council made their appeal, made their verdict known. So why are they still there? Shouldn't they be out already? Nothing moves without paperwork. Everything has to be paperwork. It's like the military. Orders sent here, and then soldiers move. When orders reach, soldiers move. If orders don't reach, soldiers don't move. You just stand ready to receive orders. So in the meantime, we just train and get ready. And when the paperwork come in, we go, right? Same thing for them. Now, same principle applied. So, Jamaica's chief prosecutor, Paula Llewellyn, King's Counsel, has moved to clarify her actions before the decision made by then Supreme Court Justice Lennox Campbell during the 2014 murder trial of entertainer Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, to continue the matter after he became aware of an attempt to bribe the 12-member jury to acquit the men. Why? She trying to clear her name because people are saying that it was Paula Llewellyn who pushed for the case to go forward, knowing that the jury pool was tainted and she just didn't care. Go back and watch my video. See, one thing me know how to do is split justice. Go back and watch my video. I clearly said this already. I said regardless, and you know people call me all kind of name for this. Big idiot boy, you chat till you chat foolishness. Today, at the first time I see you chat so much foolishness, it wasn't the judge from the case that pushed forward for the case to continue after finding out about the tainted juror. It was a group of people, to include your person or your favorite artist, lawyer, them too, etc., etc. I clearly said this. It doesn't matter the opinion of all the other lawyers. This is why in a court of law, when a case is being tried, you have a judge. The judge sits at the top. Ultimately, it is the judge's decision. The judge can ask for their input, but they cannot make the judge push forward with the case, right? So the judge is the one that erred or made an error. That's what the Privy Council also said. The Privy Council never said, "Oh, the judge and the Department of Prosecution and but me, I think behind the scenes it was a concerted effort to push forward regardless. But it lays squarely on the judge. Paula Llewellyn, friend. This is my thought now. Paula Llewellyn, friends with that judge there. Paula Llewellyn said to Lennox Campbell, listen, we have to push this through. We have to push this through. Guilty verdict, we are going for non-stop, no turning back, no nothing. And him say, okay, let's go forward, right? And I also believe that at the appeal level, come on, Valerie Nita Robertson just explained to us that Jamaica, in her own words, Jamaica is too small and everybody know everybody. What do you think that means? It means they all know each other and they're able to grant favors to each other within the system. So, and Paula Llewellyn has been the DPP since 2008. We are in 2024. So if you think she is not well respected within her field, within her position, cemented in her position, then you loopy. 2008, she's sitting in that from, and it's 2024, and she's still there, right? So I feel like even at the appeal court level, walk with this, even at the appeal court level, because this case was fought through the courts in Jamaica to the highest court in Jamaica before it left Jamaica and ended up in the UK. So when they fought all the way to the appeal court, and the appeal court, I looked it up, it was a panel of judges. Them panel of judges, they know Paula very well. Paula reach out because she rub elbows with them and she says, fling that way. Because if you fling it way at this level, this is where it dies. Right. So them fling it way. They fling it way at that level. Now guess what? Vybz Kartel them had the resources to take it to the Privy Council overseas, and they did. And when they took it to the Privy Council, what did they say at Privy Council? This should have been sorted out in Jamaica at their appeals court. That's why it was embarrassing, because everybody now was like, well, damn, how did this get past the appeals court? That's what they said at Privy Council. How did this get past your appeals court in Jamaica? It got past the appeals court because it was still a concerted effort to keep it right where it's at. Keep the conviction in place. Keep the man them which part them there. I don't know why people act like they don't see that. Right. Now, with knowing that, my only drawback and issue is this. Giving the same people the same case with a choice to try the same case all over again. And I said it in a video before, one of the most recent videos. I said if I took my car to a mechanic and that mechanic is a shady mechanic, and all that mechanic care about is, boy, my business have to survive, you know. I mean, I have enough customers. But you know, if me fix the car them too good, nobody now gonna come back. So me have to fix where them come for, but me I go frig up something else in the car, so them have to come back later for something else anyway. And believe it or not, mechanics do that, right? There was a special on, I believe it was NBC News, where they went undercover and caught how many mechanics doing shit. They did it especially to women because they were of the assumption that these women don't know anything much about mechanics of a vehicle, right? And they caught them, and they caught them on camera. So me, I put it the same way, like, why would I give my vehicle back to a same mechanic who I already see purposely frigged up my vehicle, even though I'm fixed my radiator when I go in there because the radiator was leaking, it mess up something else. And now I'm back for something else that was messed up again. And he might act like I know him do it. So charge me more money, fix the next part again, right? Right. So why would they give the case back to them to try again? Well, it's written in law. And if you go back to the Privy Council site, and shout out to the person who called in and said, SouFlo, go to the PDF file. I was already in the PDF file, but she directed me to the part where it was at. If you watch the live, I said, mine's end at page 18. She said, no, man, page 19. And I said, there was no page 19. So on page 18 is where it said what it said. So on page 18 of that, it actually, somebody was calling in just now. Call back again, please. I'll take the call. Right. So giving the case back to them, it clearly says in the paperwork, in the law, that in a circumstance like that where the verdict had been overturned, they give them the right to, if it's in the name of justice, they give them the right to decide if they want to try the case over again, or if they want to say, you know what, we've done enough, leave it here. So live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Yes, SouFlo.
Yes, good morning,
Wanna
family.
make a what? Yeah, hear me well, yeah?
Yeah, man, we hear you clear, loud and clear.
All right, then, cool. Me want to make a feel point in what you say. But first, right? You see that person who they say are fans of Vybz Kartel? More of them know so me not fans of Vybz Kartel.
Same.
Right? But you see Vybz Kartel? And because him sing good music, why I want him come around. And because the way all Jamaican people revengeful and wicked and cruel and do things and do. Because you see we Jamaican, you say if you don't go to school in your school days and you become 40 or 60 years old and you say a boy will beat you. You want to beat him up now when you see him now, because you don't forget about it, because you must say you never go to school, right? And you carry it in you know.
Yeah, they
right?
terrorize your school bully.
Yeah, it's we, yes, right. So it's we Jamaican, we're so revengeful and hungry. And that's why you find so much crime and killing in Jamaica, because you can't be talking to nobody nowadays. Everybody just hungry and violence and miserable. I mean, take this from you, because this me. So everybody carry that type of hunger in them.
Have to prove a point,
right?
Have to get revenge.
Have to prove it. All right, read along the line, because I can't spell out everything. I want to chop into a little thing. So that I go on right there, so with a PP, with a whole PP person. So I say, so they might carry one feeling with them. I say, who? You boy, you come diss me. But before we get to this one, then long time and what you know.
Oh, remember the song? Remember the song where Kartel told Paula to go suck a dick? Bombo club.
All right, before it even get to this one,
yeah.
You see, before it even get to this one, you see that woman there? And Uncle she alone as a woman, me see right now, I fight against that the man there, you know. A be a man a fight against him, you know, be a man. Because see, who are the woman them? They want to break out like a rebel and be like a rebel. And every girl want to wine, and every big woman in bedroom want to wind up and want to do heavy type of thing, and the man can't do it, and the man can't mind it, and the man make them look like an idiot. So the minister woman right now in a society, you know, all them women in quarters do the work. All the women where you see over here with parallel with all them women, they should just dance to cartel music. You can't tell you that those are correct. Because every woman wants to wind up and do what they want to do. So most of the man them, because I watch some man where they you know, in a parliament are talking and saying can't talk now because the case fair already. And the man burn out Vybz Kartel in a virgin. The man burn out Vybz Kartel. When I look at the whole thing in my youth, a beer man. So you see that woman that we had the case, she had take influence from most money behind her. I remember say a certain man put her back in a position and say, watch her now. Yes, so you're going to stay now. We are reinstate back the things we do next year, 4 more years. So you see that, you see she have to work for them. She have to listen to them. Absolutely. She govern by them. So whole for people. So what you know? We no business, you know. We try back over, give him some more time. But guess what? Whether they reach it back over or not, them have to let him out and go back over the whole procedure again. And the whole world know about this case already. Right. So we don't see who you can get as a jury to go put on that case again. The whole of them bad mind, Vybz Kartel because they're jealous. They're jealous and bad mind him. And most of them who see jealous and bad mind him, they're jealous and bad mind because him bleach and him tattoo and him burp and then guess what now? You know, over America, England, and Canada, overseas, people in the army, everybody have a tattoo and them type of thing there and whatever. Jamaica people want to say that, so them look them funny and them underestimate and them downgrade and call it devil and them disrespect you because you have some tattoo and because you have some ears ring. We have police over here, we should know that too. How you live overseas. Police over here carry dreadlocks.
Yeah, man. England, yeah.
And dreadlocks in a uniform. Right? And enough of them people, they will say lose them work and come a foreign. Then come a foreign and them have to come in contact with people who are dreadlocks and have beard and all that type of stuff. So Jamaica people, they kind of have some little weird, some little type of weird like that now. Some like the first time what you call it, first time people they were governed with. Them type of people were governed by in the slavery days.
The colonials.
That's right. That's right. They had that in them still. Most slaves, everything of them. Yeah. So you see the whole of them still, you know, them a fight against Vybz Kartel. But no matter what, him still have to drop a road. So you see that person that say a Vybz Kartel fan? Tell that person and say that man we are talking a Vybz Kartel fan. But the whole of them are fight against Vybz Kartel. We should law shouldn't never fight against the law is there to protect and make sure say, all right. Even children them in Tucson, them can't even walk the street. So what is it all about?
Right. Without being harassed, right? About? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? Absolutely.
In Tucson, them kill them.
Police
so,
draw them up.
And kill Lizard. I never them kill Lizard. Lizard wasn't the choir, you know. Lizard never the choir. He never the church choir and come from church. When them take away Bible and gun him down. Him out there doing things. Yeah?
I won't speak to that. I don't know that, but yeah, me hear that.
It wasn't a choir boy.
Saying.
Lizard wasn't a choir boy. Come from church. He was a street boy. Was out there with them. And SouFlo, you see whole heap of things, you see whole heap of cases try and people get less sentence. Even the girl you talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
The footballer girl or whatever.
We kill Plum and get 6 years.
Yeah. Look on the guy up at Mandeville. Mandeville Christian never shoot the girl in a New Year's Day and must get like 25 years and then drop it down to must about 18 or 90 after you kill the people in girl picnic because she keep an X-Man radio. And look on the years where him get. Yeah? So it's the line in Jamaica is unfair. It's the person said to you, say, if I did America, if I did over here, serious, it's a dash out. It's a dash out serious. And guess I know, me just say one more thing I look at the mic. You see England? I fuck them and fuck up them down there. Because them know say, if you used to go back and go get the case started over, Uno now go and go back over that, you know, get fresh statement and fresh. So you are England and saying, them affiliate him because they can't go back to that. One more thing.
I think England set them up. Yeah. Talk. Finish your talk.
One more thing. One more thing. People are talking about taxpayer money. Let me tell you this. Is it taxpayer money in Jamaica? No, government not busy with that because they're not spending upon the people and they're not spending upon school children, they're not spending upon government bills, they're not spending upon nothing. Taxpayer money are waste in Jamaica. Who are thief and who are take and who are do this. Nobody no hold accountable for nothing. If they buy one little sign on a month ago, if it was 19 or 20 million, right? What is taxpayer money for go back home to go back? There ain't nothing to them because it not cost them nothing. They not give account for nothing at all. They no hold accountable for nothing at all.
Absolutely.
They can rob and they can thief and they can do everything. So if a taxpayer money people are talk about, tell them to stop it.
Absolutely.
Because taxpayer money not spend in a country for the absolutely nothing for the people. So tell them to stop using the word and stop talking about taxpayer money. Them people that will spend every taxpayer money to send back Vybz Kartel to prison. Because of that they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Your talk.
So
hello? No man. Hello? Oh. Hello? Oh God. It looked like him cut off. Jano? It looked like the caller gone, you know. Look, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me out there? Well, no, I'm to the call. Like the call gone. But that brother said he said a lot. He said a lot. I honestly think the law lords in the UK are watching this closely, and this was set away for a reason. I think that, but we're gonna get into that. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning. Live on. Boy, I want to this. If you are calling just now, please call back. Look here, my answer iPhone. And the phone, I talk about report call. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFLo. Morning.
Morning, family. How you doing?
Blessing. A few quick points. You see, a few times you talk before, and I say I never like certain things about Kartel treat people around him in general. But my thing was coming from the whole alliance thing. You know what I mean? If I follow music, I always say loyalty is good. But I'm glad to say, still, but since him being incarcerated, I don't know if Bonticular go visit him, but in my Bonticular, I shut up back. I love that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
My thing is this. The case now, like the lady said before, Jamaica is so damn small. Anybody say they don't know about the case, like them I tell.
Yeah.
Or you go find juror. Without a biased opinion, we go vote.
Impossible.
Guilty or not guilty. Yes, have them feelings.
Impossible.
You bring up the point, you bring up this point here about it's 2 juror problem, well 3. One girl, I think, did leave in February the time for some odd reason.
Yeah, she had something to take care of. I bring that up already. Not today, but I brought it up before.
What about the police that work at the courthouse whose wife or girlfriend was a jury member as well?
Brother, me tell people, thank you. Wait. I've said that before, and people say I lie, me I tell them always I make up stuff. Say it again, please.
No. That was in the thing.
All right.
That was in, but they couldn't file to England because it was too late when they put in the rest of the stuff. Remember?
Right. And guess what? It's not to cut you, but everything that did not make it through to go to England at the time for submission for the appeal, that will be brought forward in a retrial anyways. So where is a retrial going? In my opinion, there is no leg for a retrial to stand on. But I think I know why. She has to push for a retrial. Me know why, but we're going to get to that. We're going to get to it.
You say Jamaica need to pick the thing good, do the law thing, if you do it the right way. You see, there was a thing, I listen to Jamaica radio station on my phone regular right through the day. There was a guy in Jamaica with a BMW. He was not on the island, but somebody used his vehicle and his gun to kill a student.
Yes, man, the X6 murder trial. Let me talk about that already too.
Which was deliberate to the guy. Some students call in and talk how it go, and the who killed the son and the reason why.
That's the Kajil Mays murder case.
There you go. And it was the man's son who did the murder.
All right.
And because the same man now, no say a film vehicle, no say a film gun, and the man turned him in gun. In America, brother, in America here, you're going to get turned in.
But
come to your house and seize it.
But look, go deeper than that. Look at what Paula Llewellyn did in that case, though. Look at what she did in that case.
No. Exactly. She made no effort whatsoever. Because brother, Jamaica is who you know. The man was a contractor. He worked with Andrew Willis, them the PNP people, and then give him big contract at Jamaica. That's how he go.
Him known as the big man. Yeah. Him known as the big man.
None of my friend.
Yeah. Paula Llewellyn went into the courts and said, we have nothing further, and threw up her hands, knowing damn well that that man could not be the shooter because them seen on surveillance video, his passport says it. Him get stamped with, you know, when you're traveling and you go through an immigration stamp. He just left. He's just got back on the island. Who was driving the X6? Not only that, if you want to talk the X6 case, it can get really deep. Where did they find the X6? Run up in our man yard, in brethren yard, where the body work.
They make a mistake, you know, and go to General B house. You remember that? Remember, they will go to General B house, and kind of the same area, I think General B live as the man. And I see him kind of vehicle out. They make a mistake. You understand? But let me tell you something, man. To me, listen to me. You know, the first part of the thing with the case, I mean, if we come to a conclusion, because the thing is not if Kartel guilty or innocent. Did they prove the case? It's not what it's not what you know. It's what you can prove.
All right, brother. All right. This is
one thing before I go. The thing you said about double jeopardy is the thing. Yes, you can retry the case, being this because they did find Kartel guilty before, even though it's overturned right now, which you can retry him again. If Kartel was found not guilty in 2014, Kartel could go to a Sumfest or go a Jam World or thing and say, people, making the boy a lizard and chop him up. And there was nothing in Jamaica they could have done to him again because you already found him not guilty on that crime. I saw double jeopardy work. Because he's a liar at Jamaica and things, so me asking questions. You understand?
But Jamaica runs under a different system than the US. That's the point I was making.
But the double jeopardy thing is basically kind of the same in our way. Yeah.
Okay.
If he was found guilty, but that's the thing they can retry. If he was found not guilty, you could have confessed and killed him after the fact, and they couldn't retry him. They could not retry him because even if he appealed
to the highest courts, if you're found guilty in the US and you appeal your case to the highest courts and the highest courts overturn your conviction, them can't try you again. That's double jeopardy. You're right. Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with your point. Okay,
right.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Paula is doing this based off. She's doing this based off ego. You have emotions. Because you fumble the biggest case in your life. You fumble it. She did fumble it.
Say that again, please.
She fumbled the biggest case in her life.
She fumbled the biggest case in her life. Now, every time people say, Vybz Kartel, guess who else comes up? Paula Llewellyn. Her name is attached to it forever regardless, but she fumbled the biggest case in her life.
It's kind of like Fanny in a Georgia with Trump. She go give the man or her boyfriend the work to take them Trump. You can't do that. You can't give your boyfriend the work.
You know what? I'm going to discuss that on this channel tomorrow. Fannie Mae Willis. And I said from the beginning, I said, I hope the sister squeaky clean because you're going after billionaires. They're going to come down on you very hard, and whatever dirt you have in your closet is going to come out. And remember that? All right. It turns out she was having an affair with the guy that she appointed to prosecute Donald Trump. And see that him get kicked off of the case. He had to resign. And that was the only way she was allowed to actually keep the case. But that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, man. Manners and respect. So yeah, not all of us slow and like they think, you know. And with concerted effort, we can put this thing together ourselves and make some sense out of it. right? Now back to this though. I won't be taking any more calls for a minute because I have to get through this so we get a good understanding of what is going on. Paula Llewellyn at first was trying to clear her name. I clearly said, if this is about justice, Paula is going to say, we already got 13 years in prison off of them, and there were a bunch of things that went wrong in the case, albeit I'll be the first to say we made some mistakes. It's human to make errors. But when you are a kind of person who act like you never make an error yet and it's always somebody else wrong, then you are demonic. You're not friggin' human. Humans make errors. So it's okay to say I was wrong or I made an error, right? Doing the right thing in this case would mean to say, you know what? At this point, this it. Let them go. The girl just stab up Plum the other day and get 6 years. 6 years. Wanna get 13 off a cartel. Just hold that, right? They took it to the Privy Council. The Privy Council overturned it. You don't have a new case with legs to stand on, but you're going to push it through regardless because of something that is called ego. Right. And I said this before. I said, if this comes down to personal feelings and ego, look forward to Paula Llewellyn announcing that she's going to go for a new trial. And boom, see that? She'll go for a new trial. But before she decides if she'll go for that, there's this article here where she's trying to clear her name to try to get the public to understand that it wasn't me that made the judgment to push the case forward with the mistakes in it that the Privy Council saw and overturned. It was the judge. But I already told everybody that it was the judge, right? Because ultimately in a case, it is the judge's decision if the case goes forward or if the case stop right here. So we have to replace this juror, or we have to scrub the whole jury pool and put a new jury pool in, however long it takes, however expensive it may be, if the goal is about true justice. Wasn't about no true justice. It was about securing a conviction for them by any means necessary. That's what that was about. Them inner them feelings from long time about this, right? Now, it says here that while noting that the matter is still under judicial consideration, Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn said that she felt compelled to speak on that narrow issue in light of what she labeled a campaign of misinformation that is being spread right now by certain counsel, which she believes amounts to an attempt to bring her office into disrepute. I think it is vile. It is a veiled attempt to intimidate the office of the DPP and myself from doing our professional duty in respect of property, preparing ourselves to make submissions to the Court of Appeal in this matter, as we are bound to do consequent on the ruling of the Privy Council in this matter, the DPP told the Jamaica Observer in an interview. Now, based on what we saw from the Privy Council, you're not bound to ask for a retrial, Paula. You are bound to decide if there should be a retrial or not. For the people who don't understand what's about to happen next, when the paperwork hits the appeal courts in Jamaica, because that's the highest courts, when the paperwork comes back down the line from England, from the law lords there, with their suggestion of what, because it's a suggestion, from their suggestion of what is to be done in this case, Paula Llewellyn and then the attorneys who represent these men, Vybz Kartel and the others, they will face off in a court behind the scenes. Paula will go in there and she will say, I want a retrial. Those attorneys will go in there and they will say, I don't think a retrial is worth going through at this point. The judges will say, well, Paula, tell us why you want a retrial. Show us your evidence and what you have compiled and ready to go. And she will say, well, we have this, that, and this and that. And I'm pretty sure that if I take it to trial again, I can secure a guilty conviction this time. Their attorneys will go and counter whatever it is that she said to these people, to the appeal judges. Well, here's the reason why we don't think a retrial would be worth the wait, would be worth the fight. Because this that she just mentioned, that was already refuted by an expert that flew into the country. This that she just mentioned, the house burned down, then them rubble it and them dash it where we can't even go into the house again. this, that, and they will go in there and go behind the scenes and go back and forth until a decision is made. My fear is that that same panel of judges, that's the appeal court right there that actually did that, passed over something they were supposed to see, and we're going back to them again. Because say, I think, and this is why I said I think they are in cahoots with Paula. So whatever Paula wants, Paula is going to get. She's our DPP, right? Whatever she wants, she's going to get. So if she asks for a retrial, no matter what them lawyers say, we are going to side with Paula and say, yeah, man, we think it should go back to trial again and go back to trial anyway. Right. That's where the danger lies right there. Because they risk they risk their professional reputation to overlook something that went to the Privy Council and got shot down. Even the law lords at the Privy Council said they're kind of surprised how this got past the appeals court in Jamaica. Right. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. So you need the law lords in England then to point out to you something that you should have seen. And now we are go back to them now to where they'll argue before back and forth in front of them. If this is truly about justice and not about personal feelings or a secret or personal vendetta, then there will not be a retrial. There will be time served and let go. Now, in all fairness, let me say this. What if Paula is thinking, I owe it to, just hypothetically speaking, and the possibilities, I owe it to the mother of the perceived or alleged victim. We don't know if him dead for true. Perceived or alleged victim. I owe it to the mother to get some justice for her. And she is like, I'm a woman. I don't know if she's a mother, but she's like, I'm a woman, you know, and I'm akin to that kind of feeling. So based on that, I'm going back in for a retrial. At least the mother can say, well, when it came back from Privy Council, Paula was given the opportunity to go for a retrial and she took it. She fought for me. She fought for my justice for my son. She fought for whatever. Maybe she's operating from that space. I don't know. Me not try to disrespect the woman. I'm just saying, right? That's why I'm able to put my foot in both sides of the shoes, wherever the shoes them there, and see it how I see it. So could be that. Could be that. But at the end of the day, that new trial will not be able to stand. It won't. Not unless they cook up a whole lot of stuff again and disregard a whole lot of things again. But the part where she is coming off now saying she thinks this is a veiled attempt to intimidate my office and myself from doing our jobs. Where's the intimidation? I mean, these words are powerful, you know, and you put them out there into the public as somebody in a prominent position, and now you have people thinking somebody is operating in gunman mode after you. They're going to try to intimidate you for let out cartel. And now I see it trending where there's a group of women online saying, don't make them intimidate you, Paula. Stand up on your rights. Stand up and fight for yourself because you know it. And it's not even about that. It's not even about that. These are her words I'm reading to you guys this morning. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council last Thursday squashed the murder conviction of Adidja Palmer, Vybz Kartel, and his co-accused Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams, and remitted the question of whether there should be a retrial to the Jamaica's appeal court. The law lords, in their ruling, said that the decision by the original judge to continue the murder trial after the attempted bribery of the jury had been brought to his attention. It gave rise to a miscarriage of justice. And they also said that it was quashed on several, he didn't say one, and this was the only thing. He said it was quashed on several accounts. So there were other things, but this was the main one that stuck out to them. I'm listening to a conversation yesterday between Cliff Hughes, I think it was, and Paula Llewellyn. And let me grab my phone and pull this up phone. I'm going to use a part of this content, understanding that this is not my content. And I hope that they don't strike me for using it, but I'll just have to cut it back out. I'm only using it for conversation's sake, just to further what it is that we are saying. in this conversation, what I understand between Mr. Hughes and Paula Llewellyn is that Paula admitted that she's done this before. You know? And me looking at paperwork where she said, in this case, we have never done anything like this before. Or this judge that was in charge of this case, I'm absolutely sure in all his years that he had never seen anything like this before, where a case had gone on for that long, and now we're at a position where jury was being bribed, and we would have to consider getting rid of the whole jury pool or getting rid of a juror and moving forward with the case, right? She said, in this conversation, she said, I've done this before. Now, Paula Llewellyn, shocking comments on Vybz Kartel Privy Council appeal. And this was the conversation right here. Let me play a piece of it for you.
She was by Tona and Ricardo about the advice she gave to the judge in the trial after it was revealed that there was an attempt to bribe the jurors. DPP, having been told that all of your jurors in 2014 had been offered a $500,000 bribe, why did you not advise the judge that it was probably best to dismiss the jury, which was now obviously tainted?
You see, you are now trying to get me to discuss the matter, and I told you that I didn't wish to.
No, but certainly this point, DPP, is important because here the law lords are saying you advised the judge that you were prepared to proceed even though you knew that the entire panel, 11 jurors, the forewoman told you, had been offered bribes. Wouldn't that mean in your judgment, DPP, that the entire jury, as the law lords have now found, was contaminated and should have been terminated or discharged?
Well, first of all, I am not the judge.
True, but you gave advice that you were prepared to proceed, and what I'm trying to understand.
You were prepared to proceed.
But why were you prepared to proceed with a jury that was contaminated?
No. All the other factors, that some of which I cannot go into in terms of.
So you were thinking about cost. You were thinking about how long the matter had been going.
There should be no other factors after that.
Security issues. There were a lot of other issues that we cannot go into the public domain. And what our information from the foreman was, what she was saying, was that all of the attempts had to do with acquittal. Clearly, if it had been the other way, we would have, clearly, given the overriding objective of any case, which is fairness to the accused. But what would have been perhaps planted in the mind of the jurors is, okay, you need to acquit. And remember that these persons, at least two of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been at those ones at a great disadvantage. This is not the first time.
But with the greatest respect, DPP, that's not persuasive because what I want you to focus on is the fact that the process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
And be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
After 64 days of trial?
Isn't the interest of protecting the impartial trial greater than the length of time that had elapsed?
I agree with you on paper, but I have done other cases where there has been jury tampering.
No, we are going forward.
To the great negative of the prosecution. I have seen cases, I've seen jury inquiries where the juror, having been questioned, it was quite clear that it was either an accused person or an accused person's relative that approached the juror. And the juror was able to indicate to the court that it did not make any difference. He would still be able to have an impartial situation in his mind. I have had the experience. I've prosecuted many cases. And when asked, I have indicated that we don't have any problem. So in other words, we are prepared to take our chances and just try to make sure that you have a very powerful address. But this, what happened in a couple of the cases I've dealt with, didn't happen during summation. It happened before we got to summation. So I have had the experience before of jury tampering. And I have been asked before, what is my view, being the prosecutor in the matter? And even after the inquiry, it's a judgment. It's quite clear that you don't know if the juror is telling you everything about the encounter with the relative of the accused, but you are willing to take the chance nonetheless. So it has happened. I mean, both myself and Mr. Taylor, who was the prosecutor, we didn't drop from sky. It's not the first case that we are both having to deal with. And in our experience, we have had to deal with cases where you have issues arising.
With the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the submissions you made?
You are not going to get me there. You are not going to get me.
Well,
all right, so okay. Them probably don't like you, sir, because you ask the kind of question that when me would have asked, and then them wouldn't like me neither. Because sometimes you are not going to get me there. It's simple. It was a simple answer that was required. But okay, we see. First, I've never seen anything like this, and the judge, in all his years, had never seen it. I'm sure had never seen anything like this. And now, I've prosecuted many cases of like this, and we didn't just drop from sky. We did. Listen me good. Ego is going to play a big part in what happens next when the paperwork comes from the UK and hits the table desk of the appeal courts in Jamaica. Ego. Now, jury tampering dilemma. Hear this. Vybz Kartel appeal case exposes deficiency in Jamaican laws. Lawmakers to amend legislation to close the gap that allows accused to benefit from compromised jurors. This is the headline in the Gleaner the other day. And I said under that, to which about 700 and something people have agreed so far, I said, close the gap. What gap? Now I know for sure that these people will never be able to admit when they're wrong. They will never ever say, I apologize, I'm sorry, that's not what we should have done. Change course of action, we'll do better next time. They're not those kind of people. These people will go down with the burning ship, or they will change the narrative of the story to make it look like, well, there was a gap there. There was no gap. There was absolutely no gap. It is provided in the law, clear instructions on what to do in a situation like this. I just found out, did I think about one juror? I just found out that a lady had informed Paula during the case that all the jurors were offered $500,000 apiece, meaning all the jurors had been attempted to be bribed already. At this point, she's the only thing that they're putting out is this one guy and this one woman, right, on the jury. There was no gap. They knew exactly what to do. They just passed over what it was they were supposed to do. That's it. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Hi, SouFlo. How are you?
I'm doing all right, fam. How you doing this morning?
I'm okay. I'm good. You're still on the DPP topic?
Yes, I am.
Because I was watching your live, but I had to come off so I could call.
Okay.
I just want to add, just to listening to because I listened to the interview yesterday on Nationwide. It was between two of the other journalists on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name is Ricardo Brooks. I think he was the one that was asking the questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just listening to the DPP and how she was responding to his questions, especially when it's almost like you're watching a court And you know how you get a hostile witness because you're asking the hard questions and you're digging and you're just, you know, it's almost like you're not giving them a chance to answer. And then it's almost like they get angry. And then the real truth comes out.
Right.
Because even when she said about after 64 days, basically, it's like she already had her mind made up.
Right.
So even her going to even her saying, okay, I've had experience, because throughout the whole interview, she has the DPP office on a high, which is respectable.
Right.
I understand her position,
right.
Very high position, very respectable position. And she keeps toting it that she has experience. She's been in this for a long time. And when you have that mindset, it's almost like there's nothing new that you can learn.
Right.
There's nothing new that anybody can tell you, because you feel like you've dealt with this, you know the Jamaican people, you know the jury pool, how they react. Because even the whole sequestering a jury, that went over her head.
Right.
Because she's saying in the Jamaican environment, just based on how she knows the Jamaican people, but you wouldn't have a jury because nobody would want to be sequestered from their family. They wouldn't want to get put up in a hotel for 1 month, 2 months, depending on how long the trial is.
Right.
So even saying that, it's almost like she's not willing to try anything new. And that's what the journalist was trying to push with the questions.
Right.
Like, even though you had prior experience, like every case is different. Yes, you have precedents that's set from other cases, but every case is different because there's always something, no matter how similar it might be to another case that you're going to use. Hence, there's case law. There's always something different that you have to now put a different spin to or put a different thought to. She has experience. Okay, that's fine. But even she said the when the foreman basically came and told her, it's almost like all the bribery was set to sway them to say not guilty. So even with that now, it's almost like anybody with common sense would know if somebody had tried to say vote not guilty, it's almost like you're gonna put up a fight and say, all right, I'm gonna do my job, and since y'all push for me say not guilty, that means
guilty. Me I go
so
say right.
Me I go vote say you're guilty then.
Which
you're not gonna swim.
Exactly what the law lord said in England too.
So yeah, so that alone shows you the jury is tainted. You have to get rid of it. But in her answer, after 64 days of trial, she already had her mind made up. We're not gonna do this. Let's put forward. They're already pushing. Say they should they're trying to bribe the other people to say not guilty. Yeah. So guess what? We're gonna go through anyway, quite long, and we're not gonna do this over. And based on how the bribery is set, it seems like it's from the other side. Even if it could have been from the prosecution anyway, it could have been. Anything is possible. Yep. But she already seemed like she had her mind made up. We're not going to do this again. It's been too long. I've already had experience with this. And it seems like they're trying to sway them to say not guilty. I'm comfortable. She even admitted that the defense did not want to go through with it. She said that herself. The defense I told the judge, because the judge called both the defense and the prosecution, and the defense didn't want to go on with the trial. She was comfortable going. And you can see why. Listen to the whole interview.
Thank you.
If you go onto Nationwide's channel on YouTube, you go and you listen to the morning show with, I think her name is Tana, and I think it's Ricardo Brooks. It's those two, and you have to kind of fast forward because they cover the news and everything, and then you listen to the whole thing.
Absolutely.
I think Cliff Hughes did play the whole thing, but
yes,
the way he questioned her.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to. Right.
Very good.
Right.
Probing questions that everybody else seems to be skipping around when they're talking about it in the media.
Absolutely.
Nobody's asking the specific questions.
Absolutely.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Have a good one.
Care.
Absolutely. Let me finish this article, right? And I want you to pay attention to words, please. So the law lords in their ruling said the decision by the original trial judge to continue the murder trial after the attempted bribe of the jury had been brought to his attention gave rise to the miscarriage of justice. Lord Lloyd Jones, in delivering the ruling, said that the board was of the view that the tainted juror should not have been kept on the jury. Moving forward, there was a need to isolate the other members of the jury from the source of the contamination. Now, in the board's view, which is what that caller just said, because they also went on to say exactly what she just said, which was, you don't know how the verdict got swayed. Somebody could have been saying, I'm voting not guilty, but because y'all try to bribe me, Okay, a guilty me or rotted vote then, right? You don't know which way it could have been swayed. That's what they said. Go back and watch the Privy Council live recording. It's still there on the Privy Council site. So there was a need to isolate the members of the jury from the contaminated source. Now, in the board's view, allowing juror X to continue to serve on the jury to the fatal on the jury is fatal to the safety of the conviction which followed. This was an infringement of the defendant's fundamental rights to a fair hearing by an independent and impartial court in accordance with Section 16 of Chapter 3 of the Jamaica Constitution, he stated. Now, commenting further on the issue, Lord Lloyd said that while the board is mindful of the very serious consequences which may flow from having to discharge a jury shortly before the end of a long and complex criminal trial, 64 days, after 64 days, watch this. Mindful of the very serious consequences which may flow from having to discharge a jury shortly before the end of a long and complex criminal trial, it is also very conscious of the danger of deliberate attempts to derail criminal trials, in particularly in their closing stages, by engineering situations in which it becomes necessary to discharge the jury. Right. Now, on Sunday, Llewellyn said, contrary to the picture being painted, that she had full sway in the matter. The opinion she rendered to the judge was at his invitation, a situation which she said is not novel, as judge from time to time in the course of matter requests the opinion of the head of the DPP, even though she might not be the one that was handling the particular case. I've been made to understand that they have been saying that I somehow breached the Constitution by indicating that we didn't have a problem with the matter going ahead after it was brought to the judge's attention that there was this tainted juror. There are 50 odd lawyers who operate on behalf of the DPP, but under the Constitution, the DPP is able to step into any case at any time in the interest of justice, and neither the prosecutor who was there before, the judge, nor defense counsel can prevent that. In a constitutional power, Paula Llewellyn pointed out. An opinion was canvassed from everybody, defense and prosecuting counsel, by the judge. That means the judge asks for everybody's opinion in what should we do. You think we should move forward? You think we should stop it right here? Because, we hear a little something about the pool being tainted. She's saying that an opinion was canvassed from everybody, to include defense and prosecution. But the judge, who is supreme in the law, was the one who made the ultimate decision, weighing all the different factors, because he too would have been aware that previously a juror had to be discharged because she was put in a situation where it was quite clear that she would not have been able to continue. That's what the first caller said this morning about that particular person, right? So she had to leave for whatever reason. She said, up until the day in question, when the judge requested that she appear in chambers along with the defense team and her team prosecutors, Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution Jeremy Taylor, and then Crown Counsel Leighton Morris, she would speak to the prosecutors every day and assist administratively or otherwise to prepare for the challenges they would face day to day. Every now and again, I would just pop into court for a few minutes to build up morale, because the case was very stressful, not only for the prosecutors, but for the police and the entire office, for reasons I would not go into, she said. That tells you that Paula Llewellyn was not the attorney on this case who was prosecuting the case. The DPP department has about 50 attorneys that function under it, and some of those attorneys were the ones prosecuting this case. But she would, however, show up to court to give them support and basically, guide them along, tell them what to do and say and so forth. And she's letting you know that within the law, there's some way there where she can step in at any given time. That's a part of her power of her office, right? Angel D, have a beautiful day, my friend. We soon done Yasoto. The attorney for the defense were saying that they didn't think that the matter should go on. You hear that? The attorneys for the defense, this is her. This is why we read and don't just listen. The attorneys for the defense were saying that they do not think that this case should go on at this point when the judge asks everybody, what you think we should move forward, because you know the thing tainted. No, it looked like the attorneys for the defense, meaning Vybz Kartel, them attorney, John Stam, them attorney said, oh well, we got to do due diligence. Go to the law book. It says get rid of contaminated juror or jury, start over, blah, 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 get new jurors in here, not Paula. I indicated, remember, I know she's not the one on the case, but she in there. I indicated that we wouldn't have a difficulty with the matter proceeding. Even though the other attorneys were telling you, no, we can't. The law says. I indicated we wouldn't have a difficulty with the matter. Come on, Miss Llewellyn, man. Come on, man. I admire people who are willing to say, you know what? I was wrong. Damn, it was a blunder. You know, it was a blunder. That's why we here have been here for so long on this one platform. Because any mistake I've ever made, I make a next video where say I apologize. I brought the wrong information forward. I'll try not to do that again. This is actually the right information. Come on, man. It's called credibility, my friend. The attorneys for the defense were saying they didn't think the matter should go forward, and I indicated that I wouldn't have any difficulty with the matter proceeding. We were saying 60 odd days have passed, and it was very serious matter, and the judge could also issue further and detailed instruction to the jury in addition to the general instructions, which the law lords at the Privy Council said he didn't. There was inadequate instructions from the judge in this case, considering how long and how complex this case was. And I compared it to the Beachy Stout case for my audience, and I said to you, look how long this judge at days now. The judge come up with theme summation. Y'all remember that? I said this is the longest summation I've ever seen. All right. So that's another one of the grounds that the Privy Council was looking at that got them to the decision that they made to overturn the verdict, right? She says we weren't saying 60 odd days have passed and it was a very serious matter, and the judge could always issue further and detailed instructions to the jury in addition to the general instruction, which he didn't. He really wanted an opinion from us. The attorneys gave him. They said no. You said yes. And I indicated that we wouldn't have a problem with him proceeding, and that any risk for a decision coming down that would be adverse to us, we are the ones who would handle that risk. She said, well, see the risk here. It passed risk. It went all the way to Privy Council. It came back as an overturned verdict. According to the DPP, you hear what she said? Well, we will handle the risk. Yeah, run it forward. We will handle the risk. Well, see it here. See it here. According to the DPP, the issue at hand was of sufficient import for the judge to request the conference of attorneys. There was another issue with the same juror who offered the bribe, who somehow found himself at the chambers of one of the attorneys in the case, and the attorney came and reported it to the courts. And then you had this attempt to bribe thing. What is the likelihood of having 3 issues to do with a jury in one case of this nature? I have never seen it happen. And I expect that the judge, with all his experience, had never seen this happen either. Which is why I've tried many cases like the other video said. I've tried many cases like these. I've seen this happen multiple times, right? That's what she said with Cliff Hughes, right? Over here, saw at Jamaica Observer where she did the interview. I have never seen this happen. And this judge, with all his experience, had never seen it either. Which is why we had to have an inquiry in an abundance of caution. And I think he thought it would be the best thing to do. So I saw the judge go, because him did think of the best thing to do. He could either have said to the attorney from my chambers, consult with the director and tell me what your opinion is. But in light of the peculiar nature of this matter, he thought it better to send for me so I could hear exactly what the foreman had to say. DPP added and said, it is unfortunate that counsel has sought to spread misinformation and seek to be mischievous and foment misunderstanding on this area, and I can only hope that it is not an effort to intimidate me or my office. Wow. They must be so careful that in being so irresponsible and spreading this sort of misinformation, that it does not act as an adverse factor which undermines our security at the office of the DPP. We are career prosecutors and we have no vested interest in any case. Where the woman I try say? The most send gunman come for you. Your safety is at risk. You're feeling threatened. I don't get where she's getting this from, but this is the message she's putting out. They must be so careful that in being so irresponsible and spreading this sort of misinformation that it does not act as an adverse factor which undermines our security at the DPP office. Say it before, I'm going to say it again, and we're going to close out like this. The law lords at the Privy Council in the UK sent this back to Jamaica because, I don't know, they still have faith that you guys can learn from your mistakes and do the right thing. But it seems like what you're going to do is double down on the wrong thing and keep on doing what you do to prove your point. So at the end of the day, I'm not surprised that you're asking for a retrial or will be asking for a retrial, as you stated. I saw it coming, but it's led by ego, and it's not actually led by trying to find real justice. We're going to leave it yesterday this morning. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Continue to have this conversation. May I say leave your comments in the comment section below, like I'm not live. Continue to have this discussion. We're not blind. We see what's going on. And not only are the law lords in the UK, which is the Superior Court, is watching, but the world is now watching this. I'll catch y'all tomorrow morning right here on Morning Thoughts. God spare my life. On a walk good. I'm out. Peace.